Hi, my name is Juliet Butler, P number P11262-169. Throughout my presentation, I am going to be critically discussing on whether it is possible or desirable to improve organisation performance using human resource management strategies. Reward management, training and development, recruitment and selection are just a few HRM strategies that can potentially improve organisation performance. However, the strategy I'm going to be focusing on is employee involvement. During this presentation, I'm going to be focusing on the advantages and disadvantages of employee involvement, as well as the different types of the strategy. Finally, I'm going to conclude as to whether employee involvement is possible and desirable to improve organisation performance using this strategy, or whether it is not possible. The Business Dictionary 2013 states that employee involvement can be described as regular participation of employees in deciding how their work is done, making suggestions for improvement, goal setting, planning, monitoring of their performance. The definition of organisation performance is an analysis of a company's performance as compared to goals and objectives within the corporate organisations. There are three primary outcomes analysed: financial performance, market performance and shareholder value performance. This was also stated by the Business Dictionary 2013. There are just a few forms of employee involvement, stated by Amar 2013. Formal and informal involvement being two of the main forms. Formal participation is often known to occur in organisations that have established structure and formal expectations that support this form of participation. Informal participation is slightly different, and this can occur where casual or undocumented activities take place at management discretion. It can also be discussed how employees' involvement can be both voluntary and statutory. It is voluntary when employees participate without any force or law. It is known to be statutory when government legislates its activities. This could perhaps alter whether employees' involvement improves organisation performance or not. Simply because of its employees are becoming pressurised to become involved in decision making or goal setting, then it may not necessarily improve the overall business. However, if, for example, employees become involved on their own accord, it may be more likely that the business will improve its performance as employees are actively taking an interest in the company. There can be known to be a range of advantages for organisation with regards to employee involvement. Participation can often improve performance simply because there are more opinions, and it allows a variety of views to be aired and discussed. Perhaps another example is that people are more likely to implement decisions that they have made themselves. Employee involvement often requires sharing information and knowledge. Amar 2013 states again that employees require more knowledge to make a meaningful contribution to the decision process. Employee knowledge can therefore be seen as a critical response and resource for the decision making. It is perhaps arguable that a culture that promotes employee involvement recognises and embraces the development of employees, the facilitation of their informed decision making, the sharing of power between management and the workforce, and the latter's receipt of incentives for input. This is once again showing how building relationships between managers and employees can increase overall organisation performance and make the business more successful. Organisations where employees share information, rewards and power tend to increase in profits than those that do not. There is evidence for this through the model of excellence, which was from the school in North America. This here is the model of excellence. It is explained how groups or communities of practices bring more input and diversity of views into the decision process. The evidence also indicates that a group, team or community of practice will generally generate higher quality decisions. It also expresses how the company ensures they treat their employees well, as the organisation does indeed value its employees and their contributions. Organisations are often as good as they are because of their employees. However, it is also important to understand that employees need to have training or experience with appropriate decision-making skills in order for it to be worthwhile to have employee involvement in an organisation. It can also be argued that there may have to be incentives for the employees if they want them to be involved in decision-making in the company, as it can be a lot of additional time and effort for the employees to take part in this in a company. An organisation could also potentially be improved by employee involvement in the way that it can be increased by team cohesion. It can improve employee relationships as they will have more of a chance to work together as colleagues as well as alongside their managers. Employee involvement also has the ability to tackle problems from the very beginning. This is because employees are continually included in the company and therefore have the chance to talk to their managers about any issues they may have. Perhaps it could also be seen as benefiting for employees too, so they can learn new skills which they could then also bring into a new company if they were to leave their current organisation, therefore making them a more desired employee. The involvement commitment cycle, shown below, shows a vicious cycle of control which was first discussed by Clegg and Dunkerque. This model shows all the different stages of keeping employees involved in decision making in order to improve organisation performance. These are all therefore examples of how employees are perhaps able to improve organisation performance. However, there are also known to be a range of disadvantages of using employee involvement and therefore showing how employee involvement is not able to improve organisation performance using human resource management strategies. It could be argued that having too many people involved could potentially lower performance, as no decisions can be made, as there are simply too many people with their input, therefore making overall decision making incredibly difficult to come up with. There also could be management problems. If everybody is involved with how the company is running and the performance of the business, how can employees and managers be differentiated? Therefore, making it difficult for managers to delegate tasks if there are so many people involved. Clot 2008 states that to help facilitate change process, the client must believe he or she has the ability to change. In fact, lack of confidence is one of the biggest obstacles they must overcome in order to change. This explains a way that change can be first tackled. It is also vital that when change is first implemented, it is done so slowly and with involvement from employees. It is important they are told why change is going to occur in the organisation, alongside why it is important that employees react well and cooperate with the changes made in the organisation. However, even with these disadvantages of employee involvement, I believe the advantages do outweigh the disadvantages, therefore showing how important it can be to keep employees involved in an organisation in order to improve overall performance. However, it is not guaranteed that employee involvement will necessarily improve overall organisation performance. If it is not implemented properly and the company do not take time to train their employees to know how to take part in decision making, it may begin to have negative effects on the company and most definitely not improve overall performance. Therefore, yes, I do believe that employee involvement can improve organisational performance. However, from my recent research, it shows that it must be implemented slowly, as well as with a valid reason for the change to take place. It is also important to ensure that training programmes are introduced in order for employees to have the skills and the knowledge to have involvement in an organisation. Thank you for watching.